Ooh, I'm starting the stream now. Okay, I was really tired on Friday, but today I'm not as tired. Let's turn that down. Ooh, okay, so before we start, I just want to talk about some stuff. So, I had my first commission of the year, which makes me really happy. So that's really cool. I really like that. I've been imitating and copying Ryukishi sprites for a while. And or what else, like Ryukishi style CGs of like all the Umineko Let's Play stuff and the Higurashi ones, and somebody suggested it, and yeah, I mean, they have a YouTube where they talk about like Your Turn to Die or Umineko Higurashi, I think. I have yet to check out their stuff, but I've been meaning to, but I believe they are The Tasty Nachos or Tasty Nachos on YouTube. Yeah, just a plug in there, because that's what started making me draw all that stuff and everything. I've been really burnt out and depressed lately. I mean, I've been feeling a lot better because I was on Twitter a lot most of this year. But, you know, like, it's really great that I was connecting with people. What really sucks is the fact that that Elon Musk guy is ruining everything. Like 600 tweets or whatever. Like, come on. Oh, what the? Wait, my bad. Oh my god, what the hell am I doing? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm supposed to be loading. Wait, what? Wait, I didn't notice this before. Wait, I never noticed this. Let's look. Oh, we get to see their full sprites! Wow. Okay, so let's load. Dr. Nachasawa and Kumasawa were... What on earth are you talking about? Shannon! Thank goodness you're safe! If something had happened to you, George... George, be quiet for a second! A murder occurred right before your eyes, right? Oh, let's try that again. George, be quiet for a second. A murder occurred before your very eyes, right? Did you see the culprit? Or not? That is... how should I explain? Genji... Even we cannot adequately explain what happened in front of us. It certainly, happened right before our eyes! It was right in front of my eyes! However, it was, what was it? Even I don't understand. What are you saying? You couldn't have met anyone except with the Witch Beatrice, whose location has been unknown since yesterday. Or Canon, who's gone missing. Was it a man or a woman? You should be able to tell at least that much, right? Aunt Rosa, calm down a bit. Anyone would be confused if two people were taken out right in front of them. Goda, Genji, there's no need to rush. Tell us what happened, one thing at a time. As to that, how should I say it? Dr. Najo and Kumasawa had been killed. We understood that much. It seemed that it occurred right in front of these people's eyes. Even so, they spoke awfully. They admitted that they definitely had seen the crime with their very own eyes, but when asked to explain what they had seen, their mouths suddenly went shut. I could understand why Aunt Rosa was irritated and flaring up. Shannon, did you see it? When Dr. Nanja was attacked? Yes. Tell me. Just what you understand. What in the world happened? Someone came to the back door. That's right! Someone came up to the back door, then wondering who it was, I opened the door. Someone at the back door? Who was it? Let them finish. And after that? That person was stained with blood and had a large wound. We carried that person to the servant room, and Dr. Nanjo immediately began first aid. It was a very deep wound. Like I said, who are you talking about? I don't know! Certainly in the beginning I thought that was the case. No, I still think that. But what in the world was that? No, I don't know! In a manner that didn't match his large body, Goda held his head and scratched at it. I didn't have a clue if he was confused because he couldn't remember, or because he'd seen something terrifying and couldn't accept it. And Shannon looked the same way. She let her guard down. What she seen just a short while ago would quickly melt away like a daydream. She wouldn't be able to remember anything. That's what she looked like. Only Genji looked composed as usual. So the questions were naturally directed at him. However, even Genji took quite some time before he spoke. He had to gather his thoughts. Genji, you saw it, right? Who came in through the back door? At first, we believed that person was Ken. You see? He was alive after all! My theory was correct! By at first, you mean your impression changed later, right? Yes. I cannot explain with words what happened after that. He killed Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa, then disappeared. At the time, he was definitely not canon. Yes! That's right! It's just as Genji says! You really couldn't explain with words. Do you have the same opinion? Yes. I can only say the same thing. If we give their claims the benefit of the doubt, it means that Aunt Rosa's first conclusion was correct. Kanon had appeared near the back door to the kitchen with a serious injury. Then he had been taken to the servant room and cared for. And after that, something terrifying had happened. So were these people so convinced that Kanon couldn't have possibly done such a thing, that they started to suspect whether it had even been Kanon at all? In other words, that means Kanon did appear. No matter how confused they are, no matter how they muddled their words, that's what it means in the end. So does that mean, after all, Kanon used some trick to escape the room even though it was locked? That doesn't matter anymore. The real problem is that Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa were killed. Aunt Rosa has claimed that Kanon was behind this from the very beginning. No matter how confused these people are, no matter how much they try to deny it, they're halfway confirming that she was right. But even so, for some reason, I felt like their awkwardness couldn't be explained by confusion alone. What did they see? Like they said, did they really see something that couldn't be explained with words? Aunt Rosa, who decided that further talk wouldn't get us anywhere, concluded her questioning and said she wanted to check the two bodies. There was something I'd been wanting to do too. The witnesses had been unable to figure anything out, but they'd been shaken. If those of us who hadn't been at the scene calmly looked at the corpses, we might find something. But it was a little surprising to learn that Aunt Rosa was also concerned about the bodies. Even at this point, I still wanted to use any clues I could find to expose the culprit and the truth myself. But it shouldn't have been different in Aunt Rosa's case. Hasn't Aunt Rosa prioritized staying safe over finding the culprit? I couldn't really see why she'd go through all the trouble of leaving our barricade in the parlor just because she wanted to check the bodies. We will all go to the servant room together. If we all move together, it'll be safe. Maria, stop playing with scribbles.
Not scribbles. I'm solving Beatrice's puzzles.
Beatrice's puzzle? What's that? Show me too. Aunt Rosa, are you, bringing Maria too? It seemed that George was against the idea of bringing Maria to the bloody crime scene. But considering that Maria would be all alone if left here, it'd surely be safer to take Maria with us. In the end, it was just Aniki's irresponsible humanism. We decided that all of us, including Maria, would go to the servant room. The bed in the servant room was stained with bright red blood. No, not just the bed. The whole room was covered with a gruesome paint from countless bloodstains. The dreadful scene alone was enough to give us the idea of the repulsive sight they've been trying to describe.
I want to look too!
Maria, wait here with me. George was standing by the entrance, covering Maria's eyes with his back to the room. He probably didn't want to dirty an innocent girl's retinas with the repulsive blood in this room. That was surely the correct decision. I was acting tough right now, so I don't mind. For the rest of my life, whenever I see red paint scattered around, I'll probably remember this room and start to vomit. My retinas have already had this room burn into them. In other words, it's already too late for me. Huh? Where did they... Right after they entered the servant room, Goda and Shannon trembled. We shook, wondering what horrible new situation had arisen to make them tremble again. What happened? What is it? Aunt Rosa also shuddered, raised her gun high, and searched for whatever it was that made them shudder. But she couldn't find it. It was only natural. They were trembling because they couldn't find it. Hey, what in the world's going on? The two bodies aren't here. What does this mean?
That can't be! Those two are definitely here!
Wait. What the hell are you saying? The corpses just walked off somewhere? That couldn't happen, right? I mean, wasn't the server room locked? Didn't you all lock the door when you came in just now, Goda? So what does this mean? Isn't this the same as Jessica's closed room? Someone disappeared from inside the closed room again? That's ridiculous! I don't have a clue what happened either. When we left this room, we definitely locked it. I don't have a clue what's going on anymore. There was a timid, pitiful smile on Goda's face. Definitely wouldn't have let show normally. Shannon was the same. Two corpses disappeared, and furthermore, they disappeared while the door was locked. Even if Kano was the culprit, he shouldn't have a master key anymore.
That's wrong. Kano isn't the culprit.
Shannon. I believe Shannon. Kano is not the culprit. This must be the doing of someone who looks a lot like him. No. Kano would have gotten a master key. After all, his master key was found in the pocket of Jessica's corpse. And who took that key? That's right! It was Dr. Nanjo! That's right. Back then, it was definitely Dr. Nanjo who searched through Jessica's clothes and found the master key. So if someone had the opportunity to search Dr. Nanjo's corpse, it'd be easy for them to take the master key back. Rosa searched under the bed and in the locker. By now, I also understood what that meant. If you assume there are two culprits, this can be easily explained. The first person was Kano, or maybe an imposter who looked like him. He finished off Dr. Nanjo and ran off somewhere. The second person was probably the 19th person, Beatrice, whose location was unknown. That person hid under the bed in the servant room beforehand, and while Dr. Nanjo's body was enshrined here, they waited for Genji and the rest to leave. And later, they crawled out and took the master key back from Dr. Nanjo's pocket and carried the two corpses away for some reason. Then they locked the door with a master key. You end up with this closed room. You constructed that one pretty fast, basing off your reasoning from Jessica's room. Well, that meant that you could create a closed room even without magic. Should I give you passing marks? However, interestingly enough, there is one thing you mustn't forget. If the culprit took the master key back as you suggested, they must have known that Nanjo took the master key from Jessica's body. You don't have to tell me that. You're probably trying to say that this information is only the people in that place at that time could know. Ha! This third closed room was crushed so fast you're trying to make hurtful remarks like that. There's no harm repeating the same content over and over. I may have managed to bluff, but that move the witches hurts bad. I can tell I'm cracking under the thing I want to deny the most. This person's trying to close in from me on two directions. On one hand, there's a frontal attack where she tries to force me to believe there's a witch using closed room tricks that only a witch could do. And on the other hand, there's a rear attack where she tries to lure me into wanting a witch to exist by strengthening my suspicion of those close to me. In the first closed room, the chapel, she used the front attack and it didn't work on me. So by the second closed room and now the third closed room, she's definitely changing the direction of her attack. However, the fact that she is changing the direction of her attack proves my resistance is having some effect. She must have given up on a frontal attack because she clearly can't win with it. I tried to settle my unease by thinking these things. Apparently the witch had seen through me long ago. I will not abandon my frontal attack. A rear attack only has meaning because it advances at the same time as the front. If I were to degenerate into only using the rear attack, It would merely insult in a foolish plan where my means have become my goal. Really? Well then, won't you repeat someone was hiding in the servant room using that red you're so proud of? There is no need. The premise of your theory is about to be destroyed. Oh, really? You refuse? So someone really is hiding? Rosa will destroy your premise right now. Come, let's listen in. Please believe us, Rosa. The two corpses were definitely lying here. The bright red blood and the blood is theirs. While Rosa began to search through the various objects around the room, her back to Yoda as he cried out in supplication. Eventually, she found something and for a while stopped moving. Rosa, we definitely aren't lying. The two corpses were definitely here. Be quiet. The person who hid the corpses has confessed they took them to another place. With this, Rosa showed them a single sheet of paper over her shoulder. What on earth is that? Could it be a letter sealed in the envelope just like in the chapel? Yes, that's right. It was set here out in the open. I'll read it. Members of the Ushiromiya family and its household, have you now reached the climax of the riddle of the golden epitaph? There's only one way you can all stop me, by solving the epitaph's riddle. There are no other options left to you that will result in suspicion of my ceremony. I humbly ask that you take care not to misunderstand your current situation. Searching for me will prove useless. Attempting to escape will prove useless. Trying to deny me will prove useless. Beatrice the Golden. P.S. I borrowed those two corpses for my ceremony. They will be returned to you in due time, so I crave your indulgence. Also, these keys belong to you, so I'll return them to you now. As Rosa read that aloud, the contents of the envelope lay exposed on the palm of her hand. They were two master keys. The master key that Nanjo had found in Jessica's pocket had originally been Kanon and Kumasawa's master key. What the hell? So what does that mean? Damn you again! You're saying I can only suspect the servants with keys again? I won't say it in red, okay? I won't deny the possibility that after they locked the door and left, someone was hiding in this room, okay? If they hid under the bed, it still would have been possible for them to carry the corpses somewhere. But they wouldn't have been able to lock the door. The master key they went through all that trouble to get was left right there. That's right, I'd forgotten. What about the keys specifically for this room, the servant room keys? Indeed. Those are kept in the key box in the center of the servant room. There are several servant room keys, but all of those are inside the key box. Which means the situation is exactly the same as Jessica's room. It's not like where the servants could walk around with an unnecessary key when they had those convenient master keys. Except they're all kept in the key box. And the other condition remains unchanged as well. Entry and exit are impossible except for the single door and the single window. Therefore, hidden doors and irregular methods of entry cannot exist. Rejoice, great detectives. And those are both locked. The door and the window do not permit any kind of entry or exit when they are locked. So it wouldn't work to remove the door and make it crack to slide in or through anything like that while the lock is still set. And obviously it's impossible to unlock the door without a servant room key or the master key. It's a pain having to read all of these aloud every time. Sooner or later I should think of a word to put this all together and abbreviate it. But you can't repeat that someone was hiding in this room. However, that alone won't break open the door of a closed room. Damn it, damn it! It's useless, it's all useless! What happened to that spinning the chessboard thing you're so proud of? Please announce your boastful strange theory. Spin the chessboard around. What I'd do if I were the culprit. I carry the corpses off somewhere. I leave a letter. I lock the door from the inside. Then I just have to escape this room by some means. Damn it, is that even possible? I was told in red that you can't get outside except through the door or the window. At that moment, I got it. That's right. The culprit carried away the corpses left the letter, and since they didn't use a hidden door, they weren't able to escape. That's it. This isn't a question, it's an answer. Beta, before I ask you to repeat anything, I want to check the definition of the hidden doors you're using. What have you thought of? Very well, I'll explain. A hidden door refers to an exit or entrance that cannot be recognized as such by those who do not know of it beforehand, of course. Even children know that. So in other words, if you can't get outside the room with it, it isn't a hidden door? So that's your game. I kept thinking there needed to be some way for the culprit to escape the closed room. That's wrong. The culprit couldn't escape, so they decided to hide until we all left. During the second closed room, I tried applying this theory to Canon, but after hearing Canon was killed in red, I gave it up. After that, I proposed that a third person might be in the room before escaping through a hidden door. And then for the first time I was faced with red, they claimed that no hidden doors exist. Now move from there to what I've just learned. That term hidden door refers to things that make it possible to enter or leave a room. In other words, that category doesn't cover things that don't actually lead in or out of the room, even if these things could never be recognized by people who didn't know about them beforehand. So if we had something like a hidden shelf or a secret closet, for example, that wouldn't count as a hidden door. That means the third person from Jessica's room is hiding here waiting for us to leave. How pathetic. It was all just a bit of wordplay. Looks like that technique should have been enough to handle even this third closed room. If there's a hidden shelf under the bed or anything like that, that'd be enough. The culprit's hiding somewhere waiting for us to leave. The culprit is also trapped in this closed room even now, which means, at this very moment, the culprit's still hiding in the servant room holding their breath. And that means, what the hell? Even though we've been tortured by closed rooms 3 times, at this very moment, we've actually gotten the culprit in checkmate. I'm finally starting to see it. Eat this, Beto! Repeat it! There is no one in this room other than us. By us, I mean George, Maria, Aunt Rose. Let's try again. I'm finally starting to see it. Eat this, Beto! Repeat it! There's no one in this room other than us. By us, I mean me, George, Maria, Aunt Rosa, Genji, Goda, and Shannon. Got it? What do you think? You can't say it, right? Aw, bad, I'll hit you where it hurts. If you refuse, then say it, damn it! Here comes the next one! Repeat it! I don't know what they're hiding in this room, but if they are, this solves the second closed room and Jessica's room at the same time. I finally caught her by the tail. With this, I can explain everything. Witches don't exist, and I don't have to suspect anyone. Alright, starting now. I'll spin it all around. Now I have to repeat that. No one exists in this room except your group. Your group refers to Ballard, George, Maria, Rosa, Genji, Goda, and Shannon. What? Let's go back to Jessica's room. When Jessica's corpse was discovered, only Ballard, George, Maria, Rosa, Genji, Goda, Shannon, Kurosawa, and Nanjo were in Jessica's room. Whoops, the corpse of Jessica is also included. Therefore, both the case involving Jessica's room and the one involving this in the servant room, no humans exist that you are not aware of. No one is hiding. And I'll say more. No method exists by which the door can be locked from the outside without using a key. Regarding the window, no method exists by which it can somehow be locked from outside. And let me also say this. You are incompetent. Dumbass! So, it really is a closed room, isn't it? And just when I finally managed to think of a way out! If you were hiding, that would fit everything! Just when I thought I'd broken through to your trick! Damn it! Ah! It's useless, it's useless, it's useless, it's all useless! For a second I thought I had it! It was all useless! Damn it! I was so sure I'd finally seen through her! I'd seen how she distracted me with her clever red wordplay and fooled me! So I thought I found a light in the darkness. It disappeared. Just disappeared. Swallowed up by a blood red sea. Red. Red. Red, red, red! No one is hiding! And there's no hidden door and no way to get past the door or the window while they're locked! Just proven that it's all impossible? That's the devil's proof. Been fulfilled. With a frontal attack? Impossible. That's impossible! What's wrong with Shiromiya Battler? Weren't you so confident in your ability to deny witches? Why are you groveling and wringing out bitter tears in a place like that? Yes, what a truly splendid tactic. Truly splendid. How you're trying to make me fall over and drown in a sea of tears for my own laughter. That is what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to make me laugh and laugh and laugh myself to death, right? Shiro, Mia, Battler! Why are you calling magic? I'll definitely prove that witches don't exist! I definitely won't believe in you! You used the power of magic and bullied and killed everyone for fun? I definitely won't accept that! Hey, Battler! Sorry for bullying you so much. I'll spin the chessboard around from my side. I'll stand in your place and show you the best possible move you could make. Want to hear? Don't screw with me! I don't want to hear! I don't want to hear! Consider Jessica's room. You're off to a good start, you know that. All that about hiding and waiting for someone else to leave. That truly was well spotted. But why did you only think of Kano and me, the 19th person? I see. So the high part of hiding and waiting got in the way, which prevented you from getting any further. Come on, you see what I'm getting at, don't you? It's Jessica! Jessica! If Jessica were the culprit, a farce like this could be easily constructed. She killed Kano and carried him off somewhere. Then she played dead and let us walk by. But that's ridiculous! Dr. Nanjo definitely confirmed that she was dead. So was Dr. Nanjo an accomplice too? That's wrong! I also confirmed that Jessica was dead. Of course I never examined a corpse before, but she was definitely dead. I think she was dead. No, that was probably, surely, definitely what I thought, but certainly wait. She was dead! She was dead! Jessica was in on it. And Nanjo, who examined her corpse, was in on it too. Oh, sorry. This was Beatrice's line. I messed up. Let's try it again. Jessica was in on it. And Nanjo, who examined her corpse, was in on it too. And that makes the third closed room a farce, doesn't it? And then it's simple. Dr. Nanjo was in on it. In other words, he's on the culprit's side, which means he was never dead in the first place? He thought his body disappeared after he was killed, but what if he was never in the servant room to begin with? So Kumasawa disappeared with him. Does that mean she's in on it too? It's not all. That's not all. The servants who all created to keep that story, Genji and Goda, and even Shannon were also in on it. The one who stole the key from Maria's handbag was Jessica. No, it could even have been George. After all, if Shannon's on the culprit's side, that automatically makes George on the culprit's side. Wait a second. Just wait a second. They're all wolves. They're all wolves! Not only am I drowning in an ocean of bright red blood, there are a pack of wolves clambering on the banks. Those blazing eyes tell me they'll eat me if I crawl out! Which way should I die? Should I deny everything and drown in a bright red sea? Or should I learn the truth and have my whole body chewed to bits by the mere wolves? It's either one hell or the other! I can't choose! Ah! That's why I'm here. Come, Shiromiya Valor, and swear your eternal loyalty and lick my shoe. If you accept me, all the riddles will be resolved. With my power, any kind of closed room can be created or destroyed. Battler, don't you want to abandon yourself to the joy of surrendering to one with power? I'll make you my favorite furniture. I'll love you so much and make you my toy until you turn to ashes. Now it's clear. There's no longer any reason to doubt. Huh? What are you saying? You kept saying those two were dead, but they aren't here. And now we have this letter from Beatrice, where she's been kind enough to confess that she carried the corpses off. It's as simple as that. I've had enough of this farce! As Aunt Rosa yelled this, she looked at all of us with a fierce expression. What do you mean by farce? I said it in Jessica's room. You can't trust anyone but yourself, and those whose corpses have been found. And since we can't find the corpses of those two people, we must not accept that they've been killed. Please wait, Aunt Rosa! What do you mean by that? Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa aren't dead. They're alive! We're supposed to believe that they've been killed, but they're definitely hiding somewhere in this mansion, so they can attack us! How could you know that? Are you saying that Goda and the rest are lying? Rosa! Goda! No, all of the Ushiromia family servants! We all swear that nothing of the sort happened! You all say that those two were killed, but since there are no corpses, we mustn't believe you. There's a chance that you worked out a story beforehand and that you're lying. And there's a good way to prove your innocence, is there? Find Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's bodies. If you can't find them, then maybe I'll start listening to your story. But if you do, you cannot deny that you're all wolves. You! And you! I bet you were all bought by that witch. Your eyes were blinded by gold. Do you really want money that much? That's right, isn't it? You want to live an easy life for as long as you live. What value could a life like that possibly have? Rosa, we couldn't have. Be silent! And Shannon, don't get any closer. To think that you repay a 10-year-long debt of gratitude with betrayal. I'll pull the trigger without mercy. How could you? It's too cruel. Rosa, that's horrible. A murder occurred in this room, and the culprit carried the corpses away. All they're doing is honestly reporting what they saw. Shannon had finally broken down in tears. She had sacrificed 10 years to the Ushiromia family. She sacrificed 10 of the most brilliant years of her life. She believed that she built up a friendly relationship with Rosa. And this is what she got in return. You can kill a person without using a knife. It didn't have to be George to realize that Shannon had been stabbed deep in the heart, and she was shedding tears like blood. Shannon, stay back. Rosa, it is true that I, Goda, have not served for many years, and I understand that I have not earned your trust. However, would you not believe in Shannon at least? She has sacrificed a full 10 years in service to the Ushiromia family. I'm not telling you to believe me. At the very least, can't you believe in Shannon? But even I don't understand anymore. I don't understand. We can't search for an answer without suspecting them. Yeah, bit by bit, I'm starting to understand. It's because we've been searching for an answer. That's why everything keeps going wrong. We don't need an answer. These are all strange murders committed with bizarre magic by the 19th person, the witch Beatrice in accordance with some creepy ceremony. Isn't that enough? I don't want to suspect anyone anymore. Shannon and Goda were protesting their innocence, half crying. Genji quietly put a stop to that. Enough. What Rosa says is quite sensible. Until we find those corpses, we cannot prove Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's innocence. That's right. In Rosa's argument, if their corpses can be found, the innocence of those people alone can be proven. But that only counted for the corpses. Even if the survivors searched the mansion and found the corpses, in the end, their own innocence would never be proven. Kidnapped Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa and killed them in another place and locked the closed room with their own masterpiece. Unless the closed room could be broken by a method other than that one, it would be impossible to prove their innocence. But it couldn't be done! They only have one chance to prove their innocence. That can only happen if they meet with the culprit, become corpses, and are then reunited with Aunt Rosa. Isn't that strange? They're innocent if they die, but guilty as long as they live, just like a witch trial. Right, the enemy's a witch, so everything's cool, is that it? We are furniture and service so that we surely a family. Whether you trust us or not is no business of ours. No matter what assessment you give us, we will merely continue to serve until our final hour.
You really are a model servant. I deeply understand why Father trusts you. It really is heartrending that I must suspect even you. Genji stuck his hand into his pocket and pulled out a master key. Set it on a nearby table.
I believe this was given as a sign of trust placed in me. If that trust has been lost, I think it's only natural that I return it.
That's a good decision. Those master keys are the main reason you've been suspected several times today. It may seem elementary that letting go of those might clear away that suspicion, but I don't think it's a bad thing.
You too.
Genji looked at Goda and Shano. The two of them nodded and set their own master keys on the table. On Rosa laid the 2 master keys that had come out of the envelope on top. With that, all 5 master keys were gathered in this place. In other words, this is proof all the servants' service until today had been negated. With even the final honor, they should have been permitted stripped from them. Maria, give me that handbag.
Ah! Give it back!
Aunt Rosa snatched Maria's handbag and tossed the master keys in there, held them all up for everyone to see. She was showing us she now had all the master keys. Are you satisfied now, Aunt Rosa? Now that you have all the master keys, doesn't that satisfy you? Yes, I am satisfied. Even if I can't trust anyone else, I can at least trust myself. I've been able to get the gun and all the master keys for myself. Now I don't have to suspect anyone. You're all happy too, I take it. Now you don't have to be suspected anymore. At that time, Maria, who alone seemed to be watching this as though it were a show, sneered at her mother. Aunt Rosa reacted nervously to that laughter and turned around.
Keys don't have anything to do with this. Beatrice can open doors with magic. She doesn't need keys. It doesn't matter who has or doesn't have something like that.
Don't I always tell you to stop laughing like that? What is it, Belle? I just cut in between the two of them. No, that's not it. I was on my knees and hugging Maria's head. I was crying. Just stop it already, Aunt Rosa. Maria was right. What are you talking about? Maria, I'm sorry for doubting. I'm sorry for not believing.
Battler.
It was all the witch's doing. The witch's doing. All that stuff about tricks and closed rooms didn't matter. It's just that witch Beatrice actually exists. And she's really a witch. And because I didn't believe, it's been so painful and so sad.
You believe in Beatrice?
Yes! I believe Beatrice exists, and she's a witch who uses strange magic.
Battler.
Maria let go of my hand. She was the one holding my head.
That's enough, Battler. Beatrice existed. You had so much trouble believing, so you couldn't see her. Witches exist. They exist. And will come soon. You believed in Beato, so you'll surely be invited to the Golden Land. Very soon now. It'll happen very soon. So there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. There's no need to be afraid, okay? Stay with me. Hands joined, okay? Let's think about the riddle of the epitaph together. Let's think about Beato's puzzle. Beato has been saying it from the beginning. She hasn't said anything other than, let's plan and solve this puzzle.
Right, she did. Searching for the culprit was just a waste of time. If only we had just believed in the witch. After gently brushing my cheek, my tears kept dripping down. Maria kissed my forehead as soft as a feather. For just that instant, Maria's smile, which had once seemed creepy to me, looked like that of an angel.
We have returned the master keys, but our loyalty to the Ushirmiya family will not change. From now on, we will not enter the parlor without permission. Rosa, please lock the parlor from the inside.
You truly are an admirable person. When the typhoon passes, and the cry of the seagulls returns to this island again, I wonder if we'll be able to trust each other once more.
If you were to grant us your trust once again, there would be no greater pleasure.
I see. We'll definitely be able to understand each other. When the seagulls cry, it would probably be best if we left this room as it is until the police come.
Oops. It would probably be best if we left this room as it is until the police come. Rosa, if you would please lock it. We will return to the kitchen. If you need anything, please command us at any time.
Thank you. If you are a wolf, how shamelessly you speak. And if you are a sheep, then I'm sorry for throwing you into the cage of wolves.
Furniture entrusts its fate to the family. If I could regain your trust by giving up this life of mine, I would consider it a great honor.
I hope you all manage to remain safe until the typhoon passes, if such a thing is possible. This is all a rhapsody of blowing winds and pouring rain performed by the typhoon. When the performance ends and the curtain closes, we will surely be able to grasp hands together again. When the seagulls cry. Aunt Rosa nodded in response. Genji turned on his heels. He left the servant room. Goda's face was still streaked with tears, but maybe he'd managed to sort out his feelings as he listened to Genji's words. His face had truly been shameful, but it had returned to the face of Goda we knew well. I will also be waiting in the kitchen. If you need anything, please command me at any time. If you wish for some more food, I, Goda, will have the very best prepared for you. Thank you. I can't wait for your breakfast tomorrow. And the boat will probably come by midday tomorrow. Thanks for everything up until now. Your cooking was my only pleasure on Rokkenjima. Certainly. I, Goda, will prepare a supreme breakfast. Please look forward to tomorrow morning. Thank you. And Shano, tomorrow morning, let's make up and have some delicious coffee. George? I'm going with them. It's all right, George. Please return to the parlor. There are no more master keys, so if you're with Rosa in the parlor, you won't be threatened by anyone. You're right. That's how things have sorted themselves out, isn't it? Objectively speaking, I'd say that you're safest staying with me in the parlor. But I won't force you to stay with us. George, you may stay in any place that you feel is safe. You're already an adult. It's up to you and with whom you spend time with until tomorrow. Yes, I will decide with whom I'll spend this night. Aniki. Valor, stay with Aunt Rosa in the parlor. I'm sure you'll be safest there. Everywhere else outside the parlor is dangerous in comparison, so I can't leave her in a place like that alone. It's not like I suspect Shannon and the other servants, or anyone at all. I don't want to suspect anyone. The inheritance, the gold, that's all nothing. There's no way people are killing each other over things like that. Yes, I know better than anyone how pure your heart is, Valor. No one will blame you. No one. Aniki.
It's alright. I'll protect you, Valor. If you're with me, even Beatrice won't be able to lay a hand on you. I may be small, but I'm still a witch.
Yes, Maria. I'm leaving Valor in your care. Alright, Shannon. Let's go. Yes. Rosa, if you would excuse me. If you have an order, please call me at any time. I'm sorry for saying something so cruel just now. I don't expect you to forgive me until tomorrow morning. When tomorrow morning comes, let me apologize again. Yes. Thank you very much. George and Shan left the servant room together. Now only Maria, Aunt Rosa, and I were left in this disgusting blood-stained room. Until Genji disappeared, until Goda disappeared, until George and Shannon disappeared. We stood there shocked. After their presence and their footsteps had completely disappeared, Aunt Rosa giggled as though she just remembered something pleasant. You can't trust them for the moment. That damn furniture. That one sentence made me choke. Why are you saying something like that? There are 5 master keys in all? Who would believe that? It's obvious some duplicate keys exist. As if we could trust them just because they pulled keys out of their pockets. You don't mean that, right? By setting down those keys, they weren't just letting go of them. You made all their hard work count for nothing, disgraced it, trampled it. And in the end, you made them give up their keys. What's with that parting line? They show that they were willing to go this far, and yet you still can't trust them. Too much. That's just too much! It's the devil's proof! There are 5 master keys in all? It's impossible to prove something like that! You can show that there are 5 master keys by placing them here, but you can't prove that there are no more than 5 exist. Only a demon or a witch could prove something like that, right? Ah! Stop it already! Stop it already! Please, Mary Trishi, show yourself right now! And tell Aunt Rosa and Brad there are only 5 master keys! Please! I'm begging you! This can only be proved by devils, by a witch like you! Please, Beto, show yourself here and tell Rosa that those are all the master keys! And that there's no need to suspect anyone anymore!
There are only 5 master keys. There are only 5 master keys. How's that? No matter how often I say it, I won't reach Rosa's ears. After all, it seems there's someone who still denies I exist, right? Ushiro Mia Babbler!
I accept it! I accept that you exist! You definitely exist! So I'm begging you! Stop this already! Stop it already! Stop it already! Ah!
Words alone are not enough. Show with your action. Swear from your heart that you will become my furniture. Can you do it? Take off your clothes, be naked and put on your hands on the ground and crawl. Clothing is proof of one's humanity. From now on, you will become furniture, so it's only natural that you will lose that right. Then kneel and make your tongue crawl on my shoes. Can you do it? You can do it, right? When you do it, I'll appear and say it in red. I'll tell Rosa there are only 5 master keys. But of course, you'll never abandon that lordly pride of yours. But you've done more. You've done more than enough, and you're starting to get that tingly feeling, aren't you? For just an instant, you thought maybe licking my shoes wouldn't be so bad, didn't you? And you looked at me and felt ashamed, right? Just looking at your expression just feels heavenly. That face of yours is so pathetic, so go look in a mirror. You see how low you are, naked and licking my shoes, right? You see you show me a battle.
Oh my gosh. So one thing I want to say, look, we get to see Goda be really nice. I forget that if there were other things I wanted to say other than like obvious title drops. I can't believe it. Are you saying that's the truth?
Yes, we've told you everything as we saw it.
George folded his arms and started mumbling again. The kitchen was once again wrapped in a long silence. George, I'm fully aware how hard it must be for you to believe all that so suddenly. After all, even though I saw it with my own eyes, I grow less and less sure what it was I actually saw. I'm sure I saw it, and I'm sure I got into a fight too, and yet I almost feel like it was all an illusion. I see. So that's why you couldn't go into details in front of Aunt Rosa. If you actually told her that you just told me, you'd probably be in even more trouble. Yeah, and she really did handle that one composedly, didn't he?
If only I had the power to explain it myself.
George had not actually seen it, and even been pressed to believe. He just couldn't imagine it. It was only natural, because even the people who had actually seen it had given up asking themselves what it was. Let's rewind the story a bit. Shannon, you said that when you thought Cannon was an imposter, you picked up some spiderwebs and came back, right? Why did you do that?
That's right. I was just thinking about that as well. Why spiderwebs?
I happened to hear it from Kumasawa once. A long time ago, evil spirits lived on Rokenjima and they, feared spiderwebs. And they said there's a legend that people treasured spiderwebs as amulets. And, at the right moment, I think I was also a bit confused.
When it comes to those old stories, Kumasawa was very knowledgeable.
Well, spiders are very useful bugs after all. They're insects, you silly dork. Yes, it wouldn't be all that strange for it. Oh no, they're arachnids, sorry. Yes, it wouldn't be strange at all for a belief system like that to come into being.
I'm sure that the Tori Shrine was suppressing the power of those evil spirits. And because the spirit mirror was broken, that power came back. And power must be what allowed Beatrice to revive. If I, weak-hearted as I am, had done such an outrageous thing.
Shannon, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't blame you for it. Sorry, I don't know how to fake cry, and I don't know how to sound like I'm about to cry. Since long ago, Shannon had often suggested there was some kind of occult cause for her meeting with George. After listening to her, George had grown to think that she was being a typical girl, associating love with fate and chances and miracles. He did think that smashing the spirit mirror offered at the Tori Shrine was taking it a bit far, but he laughed it off and forgiven her, thinking of it as just a prank that showed just how serious she was about her relationship with him. Just breaking a mirror in some musty shrine wouldn't have changed the fate of our meeting, and it would have never caused any curse. He tried to cheer her up, saying it was only a musty mirror covered in dust. Ever since I started working on this island, I heard the story of the spirit called Beatrice from several workers. In the beginning, I thought it was ridiculous, but since it would appear indiscreet to say anything out loud, outwardly I conducted myself as though I also believed it. But could it really?
She existed. Beatrice was in this mansion all along, but she lost her powers and wasn't able to appear before us. She did exist all this time. It's just that we couldn't see her.
I'd like to hear Genji's opinion.
I have no opinion. All I want to say is that, at that time, there were 5 of us in that room, and I thought that Kannon had returned through the back door. After that, we carried him to the servant room. Something happened, and now Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa will never come back to us. That is all. We have already explained everything we saw. I understand how unreasonable it would be to try and force belief from one who didn't witness those events, such as yourself.
How could he believe it? I was sure it was Kannon. When it got up from the bed. And that's right. When it started to grope around the wound in its chest in that manner, I felt sure that it wasn't Kannon, but something else. I doubt you'd be able to understand, George. The terror of that moment when that person I thought I knew well exposed that it was in fact someone else entirely. I can't explain it at all. I understand. I can tell whatever happened, it was terrifying enough to give you such a shock. Thank you very much, George. And they all fell silent again. Shadow kept crying, no matter how many times she was consoled, thinking that listening to the witch's sweet whispers and breaking the spirit mirror on that day had been the mistake that ruined everything. I hope you didn't hear the fireworks. The witch who whispered these things to you loses her powers if that mirror exists, right?
I think she explained it to me a little, but I don't really remember. I think she said something about how she couldn't release her power as long as that mirror existed.
What happened to this mirror that you broke?
I don't remember. I left it behind when I broke it. It's possible. It's probably just how I left it.
So, when they say the reef was struck by lightning and disappeared, it must have sank to the bottom of the ocean. Well, I doubt picking it up and tapping it together would make it start working again. What have I done? Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. He didn't know if Shannon breaking the mirror had really started all of this. Though the servants didn't blame Shannon, they all seemed to believe her actions had been the root cause. Even now, George wasn't able to go that far. All this talk about witches and spirits just sounded so fake to him, even though he's trying to be open-minded. Even so, he listened seriously to Shannon's story, trying to find a hint that might relieve at least a little bit of pain in her heart. Come to think of it, though it's surely different from the one in the Torii, I have heard that Madame keeps a spirit mirror as a charm. Really? Aunt Natsuhi? Yes, I believe she received it as a memento from her grandfather or something, and it functioned as a powerful ward against magic. A spirit mirror of high pedigree, I think?
I have also heard the same story. Something about the mirror having the power to reflect that which is not good and send it back.
If we had that spirit mirror, we could resist Beatrice since she's a witch. Huh? When George proposes, the servants looked up. The shrine the Torii where it was kept are gone now, but the important thing is that there's still another spirit mirror. I've heard that Aunt Natsuhi's family is descended from Shinto priests. Maybe that's not just a simple mirror. See, I remembered it right. Yes, I was right. I'm sure I heard Madame say she keeps it in a treasure box. It might not be very large. I don't think its size is the problem. Even the mirror I broke was just a small, insignificant-looking thing. If our opponent is a cult, we'll have to use the occult to fight back. Sitting around here won't solve anything. It's worth trying, if only for some peace of mind. Of course, this doesn't mean that George had accepted the witch. However, he thought it would be necessary to have some kind of purification ceremony to heal the wounds in Shannon's heart. So the story about Natsuhi's spirit mirror was really convenient. Let's go. I won't say anything crazy like, let's go get it and finish off the witch. However, I think it'd be useful to have some sort of charm that can protect us from her. Maria told me about it earlier, but the door to grandfather's room was supposedly able to repel magic, right? That's our grandfather for you. It means he was pretty good on defense when it comes to the occult. Let's go. To Aunt Natsuhi's room. But I think Madame's room is locked. We returned the master key to Rosa, and even the key box in the servant room is now locked away. In that case, Aunt Natsuhi should have a key on her person. Aunt Natsuhi's corpse should still be in the chapel. We probably shouldn't be disturbing her before the police come, but we can give a full explanation later. However, the entrance to the chapel is also locked. Hahaha, Goda, can't you break a single glass window with your physical strength? You could smash it with a nearby rock. Would it really be okay to break the window of that important chapel? When grandfather gets mad at us, I'll take responsibility. From the beginning, I've been ready to fight the whole Ushuramiya family today. I've got to get them to accept my engagement. So I've been prepared from the start. Let's break the glass. And then let's borrow the key from Aunt Natsuhi's corpse. George's announcement that he'd take responsibility seems to have given the servants a great deal of courage. Shadow and Goda looked at each other and looked at George's face again. Grandfather knows everything about the occult. I'm sure he'll understand if it's the power of Aunt Natsuhi's spirit we're talking about. Don't worry, he won't get mad at you. I wonder if Madame's mirror will really be able to seal Beatrice once again. I don't know, but I think it's worth trying. So let's go. It's getting darker and darker outside. Quickly! Shadow, get a flashlight. Goda, find something that looks like it could break the glass. Sorry, Genji, but can you be on umbrella duty? Yes, sir! The servants who had been rejected by Rosa gained a new master and started to move. George, who was normally calm and gentle, was now radiating dignity. Shadow checked the emergency flashlight, just in case she changed the batteries. Goda was testing several heavy-looking cooking tools. Normally, a highly praised chef like him would want to use them for something other than their intended purpose. But now, he was frantic to fulfill the orders of one he accepted as his master. After worrying, he took a large, thick-feeling frying pan. Genji removed several umbrellas from the umbrella stand set in the corner near the kitchen door. He took 3 of them. Genji?
I cannot go with you. It would be embarrassing for me as the head servant of the Ushimiya family if we're all gone when the order is given.
Well, Genji! Even you must understand how dangerous it is to be alone in the mansion now!
I cannot go. I must remain here so the master can call for me at any time.
Genji,
Go and obey George. Be careful not to make any blunders. Rhoda, I am counting on you to set an example.
Yes! Leave it to me!
I will surely fulfill my duty.
You're sure about this, right, Genji?
Yes. I am already at this age. All the days of my life until now have been spent repaying the debt I owe the master. The roulette will decide the fate of a senile old man like myself. I'm sitting here to see what the result will be with my own eyes.
As Genji said that, he sat down, as though saying he didn't intend to discuss this anymore. His gaze fell to the chessboard that he played Nanjo on. When George saw this, he decided to leave Genji there. Let's go, everyone! It looks like the wind has died down for a bit for now. George took the umbrella and dashed down the hallway. Shanna and Goda chased after, each holding its rope. Hold on, gotta check out their things. Okay. After they flew out of the room, Genji quietly stretched his hand out to the side of the chessboard. He softly pulled something there toward himself, covering it with his palm. Genji killed his breathing even more than before. As he did, something flashed gold. On the inside of an ice pail set a counter. A small gold butterfly appeared, softly and silently. It was almost as though it had seen George and the rest fly off and tried to secretly chase after him. It happened in an instant. The elegant gold butterfly flapping its wings was pinned against the wall by the knife Genji threw, just like a butterfly in a bug collection. After the gold butterfly beat its wings several times, looking like it was in pain, it accepted the fact it couldn't break free, became fine gold powder and smoke, and disappeared as though it had melted into water. Genji, demonstrating his Sakuya powers again. Genji still gazed down at the chessboard as though nothing had happened. Maybe he would think up a brilliant move very soon, but no matter what move he made, his opponent would not be able to respond for all eternity. Even though he knew that, Genji searched for a brilliant move. It must have been the perfect way to kill time during the short period before some fate would be given to him. He didn't know what result the roulette would bring about, but that decision would be made very soon. No one could interfere with a tumbling roulette ball. The door to the parlor was not only locked, but blocked with a barricade made of sofas and the like. Because of that, Aunt Rosa seemed to suspect that any suspicious person approaching would break into the window. Sitting on a one-person sofa, her back to the door, she continued to hold onto her gun. I didn't know what was what anymore, and even though my body and mind were worn out, I played with Maria as she wanted. Maria had said it. Beatrice was testing us to see if we could solve the epitaph of the gold, so we had to try and figure out this riddle. In the beginning, I was a little interested in trying to solve it. I didn't even have a clue where to start this weird text. I didn't doubt there was some riddle hidden here, but I seriously doubt I'd be able to suddenly leap to an answer. In the middle part of the epitaph were there lines going from the first to 10th twilight, telling us to journey to the Golden Land. On the first twilight, offer off the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close. It was obvious this hinted at the first 6 murders that had already occurred in the chapel, and Jessica and Canone's murders. If this was being followed, we still had to be prepared for 5 more people to be killed. On the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, gouge the stomach and kill. On the 7th twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the 8th twilight, gouge the leg and kill. Dr. Najo and Kumasawa's corpses still haven't been found. However, this falls apparent, and there's the sacrifices for the fourth and fifth twilights. They'll surely be found in a pitiful state with their head and chest gouged. So can we expect that 3 more of us will be gouged in the stomach, knee, and leg and be killed? Who will it be? I looked around the room, noticing there were 3 people here, but how should I put it? My emotions seemed paralyzed. Strangely, I didn't feel frightened. As I leaned against the sofa with the top part of my body gazing up at the ceiling, Maria noticed. Apparently, she felt I was slacking off in my riddle solving. She got mad at me for not taking this seriously enough. Hey, Maria.
Huh?
What was it again? That Beatrice said that she'd do if we solved this. I'm sure the witch wrote in her letter that she'd give up on collecting interest or something abstract like that. I optimistically took that to mean she'd give up on killing the whole family. But was it really written with that meaning? For some reason I couldn't convince myself that solving the riddle would really save me. I feel like maybe, even if we do solve it, we'll just be doing what the culprit wants. It'll all be a wasted effort.
No, that's not true. If you solve the epitaph, Beato's ceremony will end. So after that, no more people will die.
Really? Isn't that just some rule she made up? Whoever solves this riddle will probably learn the location of Grandfather's hidden gold, and she will definitely go after it and...
Ah! She won't go after it.
How can you be so sure?
The goal has been Beatrice's from the beginning. She wouldn't go after something that's hers.
Then why is Beatrice giving us all these big hints? Not just that, why she even set up a game-like thing?
Risk is essential for magic.
Risk? I don't really know what you mean.
For example, in a marathon, do you think a medal anyone can get by running the whole thing is worth the same as the medal given only to the person who gets it first?
No, I don't. So what does this mean? In the end, she's just playing with us? Purposely giving us a chance?
Wrong! That's how magic works. No matter how great a work of magic is, it'll always have risks and weak points. No, it must have them.
I don't get this stuff you call magic. If I think about it as a gamble, I can understand a little. If you aren't prepared to lose big, then you can't win big. And the slimmer the chances of winning, the bigger the payoff.
That's right. And Beato really did explain the risks of the ceremony to everyone. So if this riddle is solved, the ceremony will be suspended. After all, if she breaks her promises, there wouldn't be any risk.
If we solve this, will she really keep her promise?
Why are flowers beautiful even though they wither? Why is it an artificial flower isn't beautiful no matter how elaborate it is, even when you can't tell the difference by looking? Humans can bring about miracles by gambling on their deaths. If an undying human existed, they had no way of bringing about a miracle. That goes for us, life, the witch, and the ceremony too. If we don't bear a risk, we can't succeed in anything.
What do we do if we solve the riddle? Should we raise a hand and cry, I got it! And tell the witch our answer and see what she says?
I don't know about that. But if we solve it, the ceremony will surely end automatically.
You sure know a lot, Maria. Did you learn all of that from Beatrice? So if you don't bear risk, nothing can be gained, is that it? That definitely is the way of the world. But it's sort of in conflict with the chessboard thinking I like so much. At least when making moves in chess, players grow up for the best move, always trying to avoid risk and hoping for an advantageous turn of events. They don't trust a chance like in gambling. That's right. There's no room for gambling in an intellectual game, and yet this person called Beatrice has created such an outrageous crime, or maybe a ceremony, while purposely imposing conditions for her own loss and announcing them to us. In chess, you always play your best move, so by putting yourself in your opponent's position, you can predict their next move. However, we can't be sure that Beatrice's moves are always the best possible moves. I thought she was probably making us focus on the epitaph to fool us in some way, speaking in riddles, but according to Maria, that alone was impossible. She said this was a genuine risk the witch had taken, and therefore proof that this was a formal ceremony for magic. I can't understand this witch called Beatrice. If she's committing this chain of murders with some goal in mind, why does she go all the trouble of exposing conditions for her defeat? No matter how much I spin the chessboard around and think from my opponent's perspective, I can't understand why she'd give up if this riddle is solved. Isn't it almost as though Beatrice doesn't care whether she wins or loses? Of course chessboard reasoning won't work against an opponent like that. I don't understand. What is Beatrice after that's making her carry out this crime? If she just wanted to massacre us all, she could have done it quietly without this whole crazy setup. There was no need for this kind-hearted advance notice to all this self-aware closed room stuff or any of the rest. It's all overacting. I've got no clue what it means. Will I be able to understand everything as long as I keep thinking of Beatrice as a greedy human culprit? If I don't accept her as a witch, will my chessboard thinking be stuck before I even lined up the pieces? If she really is a witch and everything Maria said is true, then there's only one thing for us to do. The theory building and discord and searching for the culprit has all been pointless. We should have all gathered in the dining hall, combining our knowledge and solved the riddle. By combining the knowledge of that many people, we might have been able to grasp at least a thread of an answer. The greedy humans, each desiring to gain something over their opponents, are getting offered up as sacrifices one by one, without gathering their knowledge together. In the end, humans get what they deserved. They thought they were using their brains, but they were actually only thinking of their greedy selves. In the end, chessboard theory is a thinking technique where you project yourself on the opponent. So greedy people see their greedy selves inside their opponents. I looked lazily at Aunt Rosa. She was probably tired of being under all this tension the whole time. She couldn't sleep, but she kept staring vaguely at some point off in space. Aunt Rosa had announced that she couldn't trust anyone who hadn't been killed. Aunt Rosa's chessboard thinking saw herself inside her opponent. In other words, maybe Aunt Rosa was an isolated woman, unable to trust anyone, unable to let her guard down. Long ago, I think I heard a bit about it from my dad. Aunt Rosa was originally a very obedient child, but her age was far too separated from the other siblings. I'm also the same. That's my family situation, in that sense. They often made conflicting demands of her during their confrontations. Thanks to this, she'd undergone a lot of psychologically harsh experiences in her youth. As in this part, not the rest. Often when she copied one of her siblings, another sibling would give her a hard time. True, Aunt Rosa had said many things today that could be taken as abusive, but that means those words were once showered upon her, which is why they are engraved in her vocabulary. The many abusive words she's spoken were also words that she'd been showered with in the past. Now that I think about it, I have the feeling her style of speech sometimes has traces of Uncle Kraus or Aunt Ava in it. I understood it was as them being similar because they were siblings, but maybe it wasn't just that. For the first time, I truly sympathized with Aunt Rosa, whom I always assumed was just quiet and gentle. And what about Maria? Maria has been making a certain claim for a while now. If we can solve the riddle the witch displayed to at us, the ceremony will be halted and we'll definitely be saved. And I think she also said that Beatrice will never break a promise. But this is Maria we're talking about. She herself never breaks promises, and she has the most innocent heart. So she believes Beatrice also won't break her promises. She's able to believe that. But isn't that just an image of Beatrice in Maria's mind? There's no proof the real Beatrice always keeps her promises, right? I keep my promises. If you solve the riddle of the epitaph, you should be able to reach the Golden Land. When you do, the ceremony will end. No more people will die. So you're saying a complete monster like you follows the rules? I won't deny that I am brutal and unjust and a monster. However, I am a witch. I use magic. In order to use magic, there are some rules that must be followed. Because I am a witch, I cannot neglect those. You should believe at least that much. So even after all the crazy stuff you've done, you're still telling me to at least believe in these rules? I do play tricks. Of course, I also deceive people. I'm no different from humans in that regard.
But not once have I disregarded a promise I've spoken. What about humans? Do you always keep your promises?
Since we have to catchphrases like keep your promises, it's hard to imagine we always follow them properly.
From my perspective, humans are truly selfish monsters. There's nothing as dubious as a human's promise. Even I sometimes make contracts with humans, but you wouldn't imagine how strict an agreement must be made just to grant a single foolish wish. If there's even a small loophole, they'll immediately say something like, increase the number of wishes to 100, or go turn yourself into a bee.
There's this thing that Dad always says. He says there's nothing as scary as contracts. According to him, it's only natural that people who sign without reading them get thoroughly chewed to the bone. He's made a killing through vice.
Imagine it. When people are born, they know nothing of fraud. They get it from somewhere, and so they learn it. Yes, the crimes of the human world where people must press up against each other. Let me see. I have heard that from a witch somewhere. Oh well, I'm not as heartless as you think, you see.
Liar! You killed so many people! And you did it in such horrible ways too! How could you not be heartless? You say you keep your promises! Don't say stuff like that! I won't accept you. Ever! I believe my only way to resist you is never giving up on that!
I see. So you're saying this eternal torture will be the same for me. Perhaps 1,000 years is a long time. Maybe a witch's true strength is decided not by their magical power, but by the strength of their endurance. Yes, I can accept how terrifying Lady Byrne is.
Damn you babbling on and on about this incomprehensible stuff! Let's quickly get back to this eternal torture. I'm prepared to stick around for 1,000 years or even 10,000 years.
Good, good. It looks like you've regained some of your will to fight. It would be boring otherwise. Come now. Don't you often see it in competitive games? Sometimes one player intrudes on their opponent's territory, but their opponent is so weak that it's a bit of an anticlimax, so the first player loses on purpose to extend the game until the last round, during which they get serious and shout their opponent with blows right.
I don't get what that means.
It's the same as wine. If you don't let it age well, it won't sparkle. You're the same as that wine. I'll carefully make you age. I'll raise you to be the best alcohol to adore in my elegant time. So don't give up only after this much. Keep on denying me. After all, as long as you don't accept me, I'm nothing more than a fleeting illusion.
Interesting how she encourages him, even if she says that. And keep in mind, I feel like she seems to hold a lot of regard for promises, based on what she said. I don't know. Alright. Ooh, here comes the fun part. Let's see if I can remember how to say Parmigiano Reggiano, because I don't know how to say Italian. Also, I just learned that I'm saying archipelago wrong. I was saying archipelagio when it was archipelago. I don't know. I can't remember all these words. Why are these letters there if I can't use them? I don't understand English. Fun fact. Okay. Anyway. Okay. No. But I'm Chinese. Okay. First. I learned English when I was being 5 or whatever, but yeah, just saying. Okay. No matter how many times I see it, it's awful. I truly sympathize. Shannon, please get the key. Even though she's already dead and damn as a lady, I cannot touch her. Of course. Shannon nodded sharply, her expression filled with a sense of duty. George, Goda, and Shannon had broken a suitable window. We're inside the gym. Since they really hadn't wanted to break one, they searched for another way in just in case. In the end, after proving once again that there was nowhere they could slip in through, it only became more obvious that this chapel was a mysterious closed room. Inside the chapel, time had stopped ever since the last time they left it. Even George wasn't able to approach that gruesome Halloween party again. It was only natural. It reminded him again of the sadness of losing both parents at once. And Goda, thinking of the possibility that those corpses might have changed in some horrible way now that half a day had passed, didn't want George to get anywhere near them. Shannon followed Goda's instructions and approached the party table. Normally, Shannon might have resented having another dirty job forced on her, but now she could truly understand Goda's mental state. Even though Goda had a prodigious skill, he'd gotten dragged into trouble, losing his job and ending it left out in the streets before Natsuki gave him a new life. Though it had been just a casual employment decision for Natsuki, Goda must have thought that its turning point in his fate. Those around Goda could see he felt a special kind of loyalty to Natsuki, so he probably didn't want to lose that feeling even after her death. Now that half a day had passed, the bodies of Natsuki and the rest had changed completely. Small bugs sniffing out the smell of death had started to gather. Ugh. It really wasn't something you'd want to look at directly. But damn, please excuse me. Because of her long experience as a servant, Shan had an idea of which pocket Natsuki had kept the key to her room. It would probably be this pocket. Her guess didn't fail her. Just by touching the outside of the pocket, she was immediately able to feel it. It's here. The key to Madame's room. Shan held the key up high, showing the others that had been found. As George and Goda watched her, their eyes opened wide. That wasn't the expression Shannon was expecting, so it startled her. After all, Shannon hadn't noticed. George and Goda, watching from afar, noticed it first. After all, when Shannon held the key up high, a blizzard of gold leaf had seeped up from around the table. There were countless gold butterflies. It was the first time George had seen them, so it might have looked like some kind of illusion. But Goda already knew. He knew that those gold butterflies were far from beautiful, and they would bring about some kind of misfortune. And the gold swelled, trying to suck Shannon in. Shannon! Run! Huh? Shannon had also realized that gold butterflies were trying to swallow her up. She ran unsteadily, her expression still shocked. As she did, the gold butterflies danced around her all at once. They grouped together. They tried to swallow her up. Shannon! Damn it, what is this? Are these the gold butterflies you guys were talking about? Outside, quickly! You bastards! Damn it! Damn it! George and Goda rushed up to Shannon, driving off the cloud of butterflies, and while the butterflies were scattered, they ran toward the broken window. However, they needed a good footing to get out of the window, which was surrounded by shards of broken glass. When they entered, there had been enough time to prepare for them, but now there was none. Let's get out through the door! There's no time to look for a footing! It won't open! It's stuck! Give it to me! This piece of crap! George, quickly! Damn it, don't take me lightly! Ah! Goda took off his jacket, swinging around and scaring the group of butterflies, but saying he was outnumbered would be a real understatement. It was doubtful that it even brought them a short amount of time. George struggled with the broken handle. Its age showed and it didn't turn well. I can't leave it straight. It needs the right angle or there's some trick to it. George! Damn it! You monsters! At that moment, he saw it. He was seen by it. In other words, their eyes met. On the top of the party table, no, with the stained glass behind it, floating, laughing, was the figure of the witch. He saw the figure of the laughing witch in the center of the golden whirlwind, with the gold butterflies fluttering around about the ready. Beatrice! Should have been Goda's first meeting with her, but he knew her at a glance. Just like the other servants had said, this was certainly the witch of the portrait herself. It's almost time for dinner, is it not? I'm the host of this mansion now, so I must give you a warm reception before your wonderful dinner. And look, we even have 3 people fit to order. My, how truly convenient. Ah!
Beatrice!
Huh? Are you sure it's a good idea to just stand there? If you think this place will make a fitting cemetery for yourselves, then be my guest. I must praise your spirit for wanting to stay by your former master's sides and serve them even after death. The golden whirlwind that wrapped around the witch burst. It was like an evil hand that literally spread its fingers and was trying to attack them. The cloud of golden fireflies attacked with a spluttering sound. Hurry! We can't stay here! George's voice brought Shannon and Goda back to their senses. Staying here would now make them like frogs getting stared down by a snake. They had to resist. They had to fight this incarnation of the new, brutal, frightening order in which Bokenjima had been enveloped. There was no time to take their umbrellas. The three of them dashed out to the pouring rain. The three of them never realized because they didn't turn around. The gold butterflies apparently couldn't handle the rain too well. This hampered their ability to chase after the helium. The three people ran from their golden pursuers and flew into the mansion. How nice, how nice. It wouldn't be as fun any other way.
They unlocked the door and dashed into the room. A bit of the set from Natsume's favorite chemical incense remained. However, there was no time to let that calm them down. Where is it? You said it was in the treasure box, right? It's just a story I heard. I never heard exactly where it was.
I think it'd probably be in her dresser or next to the bed.
Shannon's womanly sensibilities led her to conclude that. But next to the bed, there was only an incense burner, a half-read novel, and glasses. However, the dresser was elegant and had many drawers. It'd be understandable if she kept some of her valuables there. Natsuki, sorry! He began to violently open each one of the drawers. He had to hurry. He couldn't actually hear footsteps. He had a feeling that a witch was approaching. He had the feeling her laugh was approaching. He emptied out the drawers one by one and examined their contents. Every small box for makeup looked like a treasure box. And the amount of effort it would take to inspect all of them made him feel a little dizzy.
Maybe it's in this box. It's locked and I can't open it.
At a glance, it looked slightly larger than a music box. It was shaken and rustled, as though various small objects were inside. It was locked and didn't open.
Normally you'd try to hide a key somewhere nearby. Though some people would always carry it in their person. I don't know.
There's no choice. Break it! We can't do it with force, right? We might break the mirror inside. Could there be a tool to pry it open? Damn it! Godo looked all over the room, trying to see if there was some tool they could use. He noticed the door, which had been left open ever since they entered. He approached the door to close it, and saw the abominable shadows of people approaching from beyond the darkness in the hall. No, it wasn't the shadows of people, because they weren't human at all. George! Gona's voice trailed off. It was a shock of seeing the procession of those not as one. It was a servant, so he knew all the servants working for the Ushiromiya family. He didn't know about these. However, they were definitely servants. And servants working for Ushiromiya Kinzo or Ushiromiya Kraus. These new servants who worked for the new master in the mansion, the Golden Witch Beatrice, had gold heads, bright red eyes glowing with lava. As the new master laughed loudly and trimly directed 6 of the new servants, he saw them approach, piercing the darkness as they came. Of course, she was clad in gold butterflies that were her symbols. Godo hurriedly closed the door and locked it. However, just as he locked it, it returned to normal, as though a spring or something had knocked it back. It gave the illusion some prankster beyond the door was unlocking it every time he locked it. He couldn't have reached the other side of the door yet, so who was doing it and how? It almost felt like playing with a broken toy. Ah! It won't lock! Even if I lock it, it unlocks! What's going on? Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! Did you think a lock would stop? Did you think the door to that room could hold back that room's new master? But the witch could see Gona's frantic effort through the door. Even now, the footsteps continued to approach. Not just their footsteps, but even their breath could be heard. gave up on the lock and slammed into the door, locking it with his own large body. George, quickly, quickly, quickly! George, what about this? A letter opener? It's better. Let me have it. The fountain pen isn't working. George opened it and once again that through the crack into the lid of the treasure box. It looks like it's working. Quickly, quickly! Oh shit! He screamed. This isn't a war cry during excessive strain. He was terrified. He was simply terrified, but nothing but a single wooden door was stopping him from touching something out of this world. He was still lucky. He wasn't touching the things directly because they were on the other side of the door, so he wouldn't touch them directly. Goto's cry was surely turned into something too great, a pathetic, piercing scream, and therefore one was real. Goto couldn't believe what was happening right before his eyes, coming right through the door. An arm was slipping straight through the wood like it was water, as though it was the most natural thing in this world. It robbed back to Goto's hand as he frantically tried to hold the door shut. It sealed his arm, his chest, and then up his chin. By now, Goto's scream wasn't even audible anymore. You could hear a sweet whisper from across the door. It wasn't coming from the witch, but it sounded like a young woman. However, that didn't change the fact that it came from someone else in this world.
So cute! Hey, you see her, right? Your light flashing right before your eyes. Let me know when it's over, Kay. Thanks! It's over already, isn't it?
That lewd arm burst. He heard the sound of something jumping around the room at incredible speed. He didn't know what it was. Incredibly fast, small, like steel or maybe a beetle. It buried itself right in the center of Goto's chest and stopped. They realized for the first time that its true form was something like a snake with a strange design on it. Goto's large body shook, bent backwards, and fell over. As it did, the door opened softly, even though no one was pushing it, welcoming in the new master of this room. It looked almost as though the door itself had accepted her. The goat attendants came in one after another, 6 of them. Then the witch came in, the gold butterflies came in. The room was wrapped in a blizzard of gold leaf which fell and piled up, turning it more and more of a world of gold.
Channel, the roulette has chosen you and George. Thank me for your day of release. Do you have any regrets? You don't, do you? Receiving an engagement ring from the man you fell for and being killed for spending your first night together. That hardly counts as a regret at all, right? You wanted him to hold you, didn't you? You wanted him to teach you a woman's joy, right? No, Shannon. You're dribbling soon. Your regret is dripping down from your mouth. I can see it dribbling down from your mouth, Shannon!
It was the sound of the lid of the treasure box breaking open. When George turned it over, accessories, charms, various small objects that not to be a treasure machine fell out. Mixed in with that was a pouch that stood out from the rest. He picked it up and was immediately sure. This is it. I found it! This is it!
So close and yet so far. Die!
Damn it! All at once, the gold butterflies attacked George, who was hurriedly trying to remove the contents from the pouch. At that time, a bright red flash seemed to light up the room for an instant. That red flash seemed to cut a hole in the cloud of gold butterflies raging around the room, drawing a circle with Shannon at the center. So the resulting scene looked truly divine, almost as though a single streak of light had cut through the clouds of this world of gold. George, who was curled in a ball, trying to protect himself from the group of butterflies, didn't have a clue what was going on. Then he noticed that Shannon was standing guard in front of him, shielding him. She glared at the witch and the rest with a serious face she had never shown him before. I'd forgotten. Oh wait, sorry. This is Beatrice's voice. I messed up, I'm so sorry. I'd forgotten. You're another sample of Kinzo's outstanding furniture, and you've matured much more than Kano. How could you do that to Kano? I don't mean killing him. How could you erase his remains and even try to disgrace his honor? Come now, Shano. Is that why you're mad? If you're lonely because Kano hasn't been around, just let me know, and I'll let you see him whenever you like. When the witch snapped her fingers, one of the 6 gold attendants glittered gold and changed into Kano. It was definitely a sight to make one doubt their eyes. It was definitely Kano's face. However, in those eyes, the glint of Kano's integrity was nowhere to be seen. They were the hazy eyes of furniture that only ever obeyed the orders of the witch. George couldn't understand the scene right before his eyes, and he finally understood why Goda and the rest had been unable to talk about what they'd seen in the servant room. Are you enjoying this? Yes, I am. It is always fun to reunite a pair that have been torn apart by death. After all, I get to enjoy tearing them apart by death, reuniting them, and tearing them apart again. So Kano, go and play with your sister. If she knocks you about, let her see you suffer with all the anguish you can manage. From the imposter Kanon's arm, a strangely curving shine extended. Let's try that again. From the imposter Kanon's arm, a strangely shining curve extended. He planned to tear Shannon apart with that. With a single stroke, he would attack Shannon, who still hadn't prepared her heart and... I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you for dishonoring the dead. Not just once, but twice. Enough babbling! Go get killed by your brother, Shannon! I'm sure you'll bear witness to a wonderful dream! Imposter Kano certainly seemed to lunge at Shannon, drawing several purple curves, but when he flew at her, it was almost as though some kind of invisible wall had been placed in front of her. The wall repelled the imposter, leaving a bright red ripple on its surface. No, it didn't repel him, it smashed him. It knocked him back, turning him into golden dust, into little bits, scattering him. That foolish furniture who had taken Kanon's form and even disgraced his honor after death broke into countless gold butterflies. And then those butterflies themselves broke into pieces, and those pieces were broken into pieces until they were no longer butterflies, but a golden splash that faded away. Shannon! George, please don't move from that spot. I don't want to shift the central axis. Well, this is certainly a surprise! So though your face makes it look as though you wouldn't hurt a fly, you can display such power! I see. So that spirit mirror is letting you strain. But you don't have the tools or the time to draw its true power. I won't let you have either of those! The spirit mirror George gripped had let out a divine glow, displaying a strength. Damn it! Let's try that again. Why do I keep fucking up? The spirit mirror George gripped out had let out a divine glow, displaying a strength powerful enough not to submit to wicked forces, but that glow was no match for the witch's sinister nature. This is why furniture can be frightening. That feeling like unexpectedly stubbing your little toe on the corner of a cabinet. Yes, this is why furniture can be frightening. You furniture! I am not furniture, and right now you seem very pitiful to me. What? What did this furniture, who hasn't even lived 100 years, just say to a 1,000-year-old witch? You're a very pitiful person. Of course 2 people in love will have regrets when they're separated. But they'll feel none of the kind of regret you're hoping for. You dare to speak, furniture!
Have you forgotten the days you were so desperate to be tied with George that you licked my shoes?
Living with love and crawling through the muck is what humans do. If you sneer and look down on them for that, then you're far inferior to them. Especially now, I pity you. How precious is it for a loving couple when they bring their love to fruition by sleeping together on their first night? It does have meaning. It definitely does. But it's completely different from what you're saying. It means something so sacred that one such as you has no right to speak of it wickedly. So I no longer have any regrets. George and I have sworn our love to each other. As proof, I accepted his ring. With that, our eternal vows were completed. No matter how you torture us with your wicked magic and your malice, you cannot disgrace eternity.
Ha! Don't speak in cheap ideals like some poet! Love is lust, totally meaningless unless you're sleeping together. Men are mere flies, and maggots that get drawn to your female scent and crowd around you. Do you still not understand that at your age? You'll despair the very first time you witness the dark lust of that glasses man behind you. You'll be crushed, shocked, dumbfounded, stupefied, and it's all useless, Shannon! Yeah, that's enough talk out of you, you furniture! Who the hell do you think you are, talking like that? No matter how beautiful you try to make love sound, in the end it's a fraud because love is filthy filth! Don't people become adults when they realize that? Die, you scrap! You furniture scrap, you trash! I'll turn you into a filthy maggot, and we'll see whether that glasses guy still loves you! I'll show you that this guy's only had his eyes on your flesh! Die, you piece of crap! Don't you tell me about love!
The invisible column of light, with Shannon at the center, started to have bright red ripples drawn all over it at once. The walls did its best to withstand the unseeable malice that tried to corrode in on them from all directions.
What do you actually think you're resisting? You're insignificant, you're frail, just like your cheap ideals. Just a frail pretense. You're just hiding what you don't want to see by covering it with a veil. You still do not understand? That's why you're furniture, you furniture! See? It's being erased. Crack, crunch, smack, snap. How thin, how shameful. Parmigiano Reggiano would be harder to cut through than your frail resistance.
Is it lagging? I have no idea. But it's kind of breaking it up. I'll have to try again. The golden windstorm that covered the room gradually began to shade the walls of the column that protected Shannon and George. The bright red ripples frantically drew a resisting pattern, but that just turned into a red wall of despair that began to wrap the two of them up.
George, I'm sorry. It was too much. For me. After all.
Yeah, thank you. You fought for my sake. That alone makes me happy. The round wall that once protected them was assaulted and covered with a curve of bright red ripples, as it seemed to scream, and began to suck the two of them up instead.
George, can I ask a favor?
Shannon grasped George's hand behind her. So George hugged her shoulders just as strongly. What is it?
In the end, please let me hear you say I love you.
Yeah. Sayo, I will forever... Uh-oh. I hope I did that right. some parts, but I don't know. I felt like it was lagging at the end over there. My first time reading Umineko, watching the anime, I always thought it was weird how George never said anything. When Rosa was disrespecting Shannon, he was like, "Hey, you leave Shannon alone." Even Jessica said something to Beatrice, but George is like, "I'm just gonna stay quiet," you know? Like, even if Shannon could handle it herself, it's just like, I'd still want to throw my 2 cents in there if somebody was talking shit about somebody I cared about, you know? I just feel like the way that he behaved here was very odd. I always felt it was odd. So. Alright, so nothing there. So, let's see, any tips? No. We'll stop it there then. Alright, I'm gonna go. Bye-bye! Hopefully, the fireworks won't do anything to mess up anything tomorrow. I don't know, but I've been hearing quite a bit of fireworks today. Ugh.